ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to North Shore Live, Cooper's Corner. We're live. This is November the 14th. I can't believe this. Thanksgiving is next week. Oh my goodness, oh my goodness. Hope you are finding all the groceries that you need. I know that a couple of the stores were out of the green beans, string beans, French style. So anyway, good luck with that. Get all your stuff done now because it's going to be really a hard thing to do is to get all your ingredients ready. I bake pies and sweet potato pies, and usually 3 at a time, so I'm going to be very busy with sweet potatoes. Anyway, I hope and wish you all a very sweet and happy Thanksgiving to you and your families. I hope you're enjoying this weather because I put an order in to keep this that way until spring. We like it until spring. 72 would be good, but this is okay. Sunshine is okay. This evening's program, I am bringing to you and for your information and education for those who are either veterans or active or know someone that is. This is Patrick Cornett. He is the chief officer for Veterans Services here in Lake County. And he's going to explain the benefits, and there's a whole host of benefits for those who left from Illinois, returned to Illinois, served with honor and dignity, United States government, and other than federal assistance, he is going to tell us what benefits Illinois can do for you as a resident here in Illinois. And I'm so hoping that you will be helped by this. We waited 4 months for this gentleman to come on the air, and we are so happy that he was able to make it for this evening. So without any further ado, please allow me to introduce to you Patrick Cornett. Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you today?
We're doing well and going to be ecstatic about the information that you're going to bring to our Illinois veterans who have no idea that they have these benefits coming to them.
Sure.
So, I can't wait to get you going on this because I know the hour runs short and you've got a lot to tell about, and I'm so happy that you are able to do this and that the state of Illinois is able to do this for our veterans, either the disabled or those that have come back that are in need of some services. So go ahead, fire away. It's all yours, Patrick.
Okay. My name is Patrick Cornett. I'm a Veteran Service Officer for the state of Illinois, the Illinois Department of Veterans Affairs. I served in the Navy. I joined right out of high school, served a few years, got injured, and was medical boarded out and released. I served on the USS Kittiwake. It's an auxiliary submarine rescue, ASR-13 out of Norfolk. But what we're going to talk tonight, I want to start off first about the difference between federal and state VA. So when I say I work for the VA, people think I work for the federal VA.
Federal, sure.
And a lot of people, including myself, until I started working for the state, didn't realize that there's a state VA also. And they have their own benefits.
Had no idea.
So the federal VA obviously is federal. It's President and Congress, and they're over all the states and territories, and they have their benefits. A lot of people know about those benefits because they're some are pretty big, like post 9/11, the education, stuff like that, and the service connection disability.
That's right.
But the states have their own benefits as well, And Illinois is a very veteran-friendly state, has some very fantastic benefits. A lot of them that I was never aware when I got out. And it wasn't until I started working for the state that I became aware, and especially in this position. State benefits are subject to state Illinois laws and the governor and our own Congress and our own Senate. That's who makes up those benefits and makes those decisions. The Illinois Department of Veterans Affairs administrates them. So there are veteran service organizations and veteran service officers. Veteran service organizations are some of the big ones: American Legion, DAV, AMVETS, Purple Heart. Those, and there's a bunch of other really big ones, but those are veteran service organizations. They have veteran service officers as well. What a veteran service officer is they're licensed and accredited by the federal VA to help veterans and dependents understand benefits. The state of Illinois also hires veteran service officers. Most states do. Every state has their own VA. They're called by different names. Illinois is the Illinois Department of Veterans Affairs. Michigan, don't quote me, I think is like the Veterans Commission or something, like Michigan Veterans Commission. So they also hire veteran service officers. We're licensed, accredited, trained to help veterans and their families. So you've got state VSOs and private organizations like American Legion, DAV, Purple Heart. They have VSO, AMVETS, they have VSOs as well. Also, counties have veteran service officers. So in Lake County, there's the Veterans Assistance Commission of Lake County, and they have veteran service officers as well. We don't compete, we're all friends. We all get along.
But if you receive something from the county, does that disqualify you from something from the state?
No, we're all equals. We all took the same test. We all have the same accreditation. It's like the difference between McDonald's, Burger King, and Wendy's.
They're all hamburgers.
They're all hamburgers. Okay. Some people have different preferences.
Okay.
And like the Lake County Veterans Assistance Commission, they're all great guys and ladies.
And is there a timeline on this stuff? How long you can wait, or when
Yes.
you have to?
So some benefits do have timetables
time limits,
and
okay.
expirations. Absolutely. So the veteran service organizations have veteran service officers. The key thing is you do not want to get advice from somebody that is not a licensed and accredited veteran service officer.
So, say I have a friend and a friend tells me, gee, you could go apply for something here. Is that good or not good?
It's good for other veterans to let people know that, hey, there might be a benefit out there.
There may be a benefit.
But the first thing you should do is don't apply for it. Go see a licensed and accredited veteran service officer and talk to them.
So before anything should be applied to, they should come to you or to whatever organization they have a licensed and accredited
veteran service
officer. I don't even know who that would be for our American Legion up here, 145.
So some American Legion posts don't have veteran service officers.
So how do they get that? How do they secure that information?
Well, they can rely on sending their veterans to either the state VSOs or the county Veterans Assistance Commissions, and we can help them. I mean, I met you at an American Legion meeting.
American Legion, that's correct.
And part of my job is to also do outreach and let veterans know and dependents that I'm a resource for them.
Okay.
So if a American Legion post doesn't have a licensed and accredited veteran service officer, that's what I'm for, and the county too.
Okay.
And then there are private organizations. I believe at Captain Level, AMVETS has a VSO there. Purple Heart has a VSO. DAV has a VSO up there. We have 2 veteran service officers there Tuesdays and Thursdays at Captain Level. Building 133, 1D, 156, and 133, 1D, 57. It's kind of like by the main elevators outside of primary care. That's where all the VSOs are.
Yeah.
Purple Heart is in, I believe, in Building 135. Don't quote me on that. Same with DAV.
They'll know. They'll know.
So there's some VSOs at the Captain James A. Lovell Federal Healthcare Center. And my office is in Deerfield. That's our full-time office for Lake County. And
Maybe we should give your number straight away.
okay, I'll do that.
Okay, go ahead.
My phone number is 847-948-6982. My email is Patrick, normal spelling, .Cornet, CORNET, @illinois.gov.
Okay.
We have a full-time office in Deerfield, Monday through Friday, 8 to 4.
You have to make an appointment, or can you walk in?
Right now it's walk-in.
Okay.
And it's open Monday through Friday, 8 to 4, closed state holidays, and sometimes for special events we have to close it down.
Okay.
But Monday through Friday, 8 to 4, we're there. That address is 1755 Lake Cook Road in Deerfield. It is in the Illinois Student Assistance Commission building, which is the very first building in the southeast corner of 94 in Lake Cook, directly across the street, straight line from the Hyatt Hotel.
Yeah.
You have to pass this and go in because of the embankments of the highway, but we're the building right across the street from the Hyatt. And it's a walk-in. You just come on in. And then we do have another itinerant site in Lake County in Grays Lake. One day a month, I'm in the Veterans Family Services Foundation in Grays Lake in their office helping out vets. So we have a couple of different spots in Lake County with the state. The Veterans Assistance Commission, they're moving from Waukegan to Gurnee.
Oh, really?
Yep. So there's, and then we have the VSOs up at Lovell. So they're all pretty much all over the county. And the state of Illinois, who I work for,
Okay.
we basically have VSO offices in every county. So, for instance, except for Cook, we have a lot of offices in Cook.
Yeah.
But in county next door, McHenry, we have an office in Woodstock at the National Guard Armory off of 14, right by the Clausen Pickle Factory, if you know where that's at. But we have offices all throughout the state. But for Lake County, Deerfield, Captain Lovell, Grays Lake, and then Gurnee, we've got VSOs. The key thing is, back to our conversation, if you are interested about a benefit or heard about something or read about something, a lot of stuff on the internet is not true, it's half-truths.
Like how? What if we're reaching someone now, they're watching the program and they say, wow, saw your program, very interested, so helpful. My husband just got back and we're in need of some financial assistance. He isn't physically, disabled, but he suffers from PTSD. Life is a little hectic because he's reliving actions that took place when he was overseas in either Iraq, Afghanistan, wherever. What can you do to help us? We need some assistance. So then where you come into play, so then what?
Obviously, if a person feels that another person is a threat to themselves or others, call 911.
Okay.
Okay? That's the first thing.
Okay.
But there's also, I'll give the numbers out a little bit later. There's a Veterans Crisis Line. The state's got one. The federal VA's got one. There's programs at Captain James A. Lovell to help veterans. If someone's having some problems with PTSD, they can call those numbers. They can go to Captain Lovell, okay? And just walk into the emergency rooms, and they will talk to the veterans and make determinations, and that's what they do. I don't handle that.
Maybe they feel they don't want to call any law enforcement or anything. They want to handle it themselves. What do you do with a case like that?
I would have them call the 800 numbers for the PTSD or the support, mental health support numbers. I obviously get them the call, and then obviously try to get them into treatment as well. So there's a lot of resources here in Lake County for us to help and guide veterans and dependents to what benefits they've earned. There's
Now, is the
I-
time overseas that's those credits add up, or
there
what
are
is it?
so many different variables on what qualifies somebody on benefits, and that would be another. That could be another show.
Okay.
So
I got your
but
back.
That's another reason why when a veteran comes in,
Yeah.
If the veteran is passed and we're working with a widow, we ask them to bring in their DD-214, which is their
Yeah.
discharge papers. Bottom left-hand side it says DD-214. Or if it's World War II, there's a thumb. They had put their thumbprint in the bottom left-hand corner. There's no form number. It was just your thumbprint. It's
Yeah.
like a separation document. Those are the two documents we really need because that tells you everything about your military and what you did. As a VSO, one of the things I do is debunk myths, help veterans understand the benefits that they've earned, benefits that they may not even be aware.
What would be a myth? I never even heard of that, but what would be a myth that you could tell me?
Oh, I'm not going to say it because then it'll get passed around.
Okay.
No, but they read stuff on the internet that wasn't actually even
Well,
close to being true.
whatever is on the internet, is that put on by the Illinois Department of Veteran Affairs? Or
So
not?
if you go to and this isn't a good rule, but it's a rule that I can
to be
safely
safe,
say .gov.
Yeah,
If you go to
okay.
a .gov,
Okay.
like VA.gov or
VA, okay.
Illinois, IDVA. Or the State of Illinois Department of Veteran Affairs
Okay.
.gov. That's two safe sites.
Okay.
Okay.
Safe.
But if you start expanding out, .edus are good resources for the most part.
Okay. Education.
Yep, because they're done by colleges.
Yeah.
.orgs are usually okay,
Okay.
but when you start getting into, vetshelpingfriends.com.
Oh, that could be too scary
Yeah.
because you don't know what you're getting into.
Who's writing it? Who's
Well,
watching?
you don't
or
know.
seeing?
See, that's the problem.
So, obviously, if you see something, don't dismiss it. Print it out and come see or call the VSO.
And see if that's.
Hey, I was reading this. Is this
that
true?
Is that true? Oh,
Absolutely.
good. Okay.
We're here to help veterans
and not to be
independence.
afraid to ask questions.
No, I work for the state Monday through Friday, 8 to 4, and I will be a resource to all veterans and dependents that need assistance.
These other
Call me
one-
100 times a day. I don't care.
These other groups that say that they're beneficial or helpful or friends of whatever, are those scams trying to get money from these veterans?
Some, I don't know. Some are honest people are just trying to help, but they don't have the resources or the constant
able to.
updates of all the changes.
Okay.
And I've come across people that they were just honestly trying to help other people,
But
which
didn't
is
know-
okay.
Yeah, but they
But
don't know.
they ended up hurting because they didn't know all of it. They don't have
okay.
the education, training, and the continuing education that we have to go through
Okay.
to keep our license.
Yeah.
So one of the most probably there's two of the major things that I do in my office day in, day out is service connection disability claims, and I'll get into that a little bit later. Verifying discharge papers to have veteran put on your driver's license. That's a new program in the state of Illinois.
Oh.
The only people that can authorize to have veteran put on your driver's license is a state of Illinois veteran service officer like myself. So all the other service organizations can't do it. It has to be a state VSO.
But what if you go up to Great Lakes? Can they do that?
No. So you would have to either come to Deerfield, Grays Lake when I'm there, or up to Captain Level on Tuesdays or Thursdays between 9 and 4.
And so, what do? Do they take your picture again and send this down to Springfield, or you have to have it punched?
What
or-
I do
Yeah.
is they come in with their DD-214.
Yeah.
If they were active duty, I can just use their DD-214 and
Okay.
their driver's license, and I stamp it, authorize it, key it in the computer, and then they go back to the
It's-
DMV,
Okay.
and the DMV does their thing.
Okay.
If they were reserves, we need additional documents. we need the retirement points just to make sure they finish their reserve obligation. And that's only if the reservist didn't have any active duty time other than training. For the
If they were overseas, I mean, you've got something that if they're combat veterans, they have that.
That's active duty, so you can just use that.
Okay, that shows.
Some people do their reserve career with never going active duty other than training.
Oh, really?
It happens.
Okay.
And then National Guard, we need their NGB 22, which is their discharge from the National Guard as well. Just make sure.
Yeah.
But that's something that a state benefit that.
And so you can. Is there a charge for that to put it on your card?
With the renewal, there's no charge. It's whatever your renewal is. If you do it off renewal, I do believe there's they charge you like a lost license or whatever to reissue it.
So.
But don't quote me on that.
No. But they would need to have whatever paperwork would be necessary to go into your office to be able to have this validated. That
the DD-214, and if they were, if they had active duty, DD-214. If it was reserves or National Guard, we need those other documents.
Okay.
So those are probably the two biggest things I do in my office every day.
The veteran thing, that's very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Absolutely.
I don't think they even are aware that they could have that put on there.
The Secretary of State is doing a fantastic job at renewals. When veterans are coming in, they're asking, are you a veteran?
Yeah.
And if they are, they're sending them to us.
Okay.
So they're doing a fantastic job of alerting the veterans and asking the question, are you
Yeah.
a veteran? Another thing that I do is if a veteran's denied service connection disability, I will work with the veteran to reopen, appeal, and if necessary, even write the appeal
Okay.
for any denied benefits. But every case is different, so
Okay.
educate the veterans and dependents on benefits. And if a veteran is in need of a discharge upgrade, got other than honorable discharge, that's something that we can assist with as well. If there was any errors under DD-214, we can work on getting those errors corrected.
Corrected. Okay.
And there's a bunch of other stuff that I do, but those are probably the biggest things every day of what I do.
Okay.
I can talk about federal benefits if you want.
Sure. Well, maybe they don't even know. I mean, there are plenty of things in Illinois that they don't know, but even federal, they don't even know. They figure they've served, they've been overseas, they've come back, their hands are full with whatever they're doing. They're trying to retrieve a job or secure a job. What do they do? They're not having any luck with that. They don't have the proper clothing. Maybe they're going through, marital discourse or something, and they need some assistance. Is there an attorney for them, or how do they find their way in the dark? Is really what it is.
The people being discharged now, and I just know about Great Lakes.
Okay.
They're being the military, the DoD, or the Navy has stepped up and is really working with veterans or active duty that are being discharged. I'm one of the speakers at a program called Capstone, 90 Days to Discharge. And I'm talking to all the people that are getting out to let them know they got benefits and seek VSOs and stuff like that. But when I got out, and then even people older than me got out, there wasn't much of a transition program out there. So, I mean, that's another reason why I'm here tonight.
Can they go back and see what they've lost or missed, or maybe is still there for them?
Possibly. There was benefits, absolutely. When I got out in October of '92, there were benefits that I had no idea I have that I still have today and haven't even used.
Really?
So and I can use, some don't end. There's no
Really?
expiration. And so, yes, it may be. That could very well possibly be something there for them. Federal benefits, I could talk all week on that.
Okay, but they've got to know. We've got a little bit of time left.
So probably split this in half and half.
Okay.
Do a quick overview of the really big federal benefits.
Okay.
And then talk about some state stuff.
Yeah,
state
because
benefits.
they want to know about school or whatever. Whatever you've got there.
Absolutely. And if any listener has questions, shoot me an email tonight, tomorrow.
Okay,
or give me a
email. Give
call.
them an email again.
My email is Patrick, Patrick, dot Cornet, Cornet, at Illinois, spelled out, .gov.
Okay.
This is not by far a complete list at all. These are just the big benefits. So obviously, Veterans Health Benefits, VHA.
Health, yeah.
So if you are interested in health benefits, there's a couple ways you can do it. One way is you can come into my office and we can apply for it. Make sure you have your discharge papers. You can do it by phone. Or you can actually go walk up to Captain Lovell, James A. Lovell Federal Healthcare Center, and walk in there and registration, apply. They'll make a determination right there in the spot. And if you're approved, you can walk about 20 feet to primary care and make an appointment for your first primary care visit.
Oh, that's good.
But there's other ways to do it, but that's probably the three easiest ways.
That's good to know.
Service connection disability. That is compensation or health care for injuries from active duty. Okay. So I'll use myself as an example. I was injured and hurt my knees on active duty. I was released on a medical discharge because I couldn't be in the Navy anymore with my bad knees.
Okay.
And with that, I automatically got veterans health care. Okay. And was classified as a disabled veteran because of my knees. And it was granted at discharge 10% for each knee. What that is percentages have many different, basically two different, you get financial compensation based on the
Okay.
percentage, but there's benefits also based on the percentages that you're eligible for. Every different percentage level, sometimes there's more benefits in addition to financial compensation. And any medical treatment that I need for my knees is covered by the VA.
Okay.
Okay, as long as it's at a VA hospital. Can't go to Condell or can't go to Illinois Bone and Joint or something and
Okay.
expect the VA to pick up the tab.
Yeah.
So it's at a VA hospital. What service connection disability is, and here's a small definition. It's basically three different parts. The first part is a current diagnosis of a disease, illness, or disorder that's chronic in nature. Okay, so there's a lot of little subparts. Current diagnosis, it's got to be a current disease, illness, or disorder. Can't be a symptom. I'll get that in a minute. And it's got to be chronic in nature. So if I was doing a claim for a guy who had back pain, he was a radioman in the Army, and in his medical records was going through back pain.
Yeah.
Clearly happened on service. He filed a claim for back pain, didn't use a VSO. He was denied. How could he be denied? It was all in his
Wow,
medical records,
that's
all in
right.
10 years of active
Okay.
duty. And he came in upset. He was referred to me, and I'm like, well, pain is a symptom, not a diagnosis. What's wrong with your back?
Yeah.
So he needed to go to a doctor and find out what it was like his L4, L5 vertebrae
Oh, the
was
vertebrae.
pinching or something
Okay.
like that. And, well,
Yeah.
now he had a diagnosis. It was a so
Okay.
we reopened it. We didn't have to appeal or anything like that. We reopened it and did the government paperwork, which I'm very good at. And no, but that's my job. You don't have to worry about it. So,
Okay.
so don't sweat it. That's what we're here for. And he got his claim approved. But it's a current diagnosis of disease, illness, or disorder that's chronic in nature that affects you today.
And he has to be treated in a VA hospital.
No, he could be treated anywhere. He just
Oh.
has to have the diagnosis.
So he could go to Illinois Bone and Joint or anything
He
like
could, as long as it's a doctor. Yeah.
a doctor,
That gives him
sure.
a diagnosis. And there's some little caveats
Okay,
with that. We need private
okay.
treatment records. Stuff
Wow,
like that.
okay.
The second part would be an incident in service while on active duty that caused it or aggravated it or exposed.
Or created?
It caused it,
Causes,
aggravated it,
okay.
created. And there's a presumptive period 1 year after discharge as well.
Okay.
So you have those two items, and the next one would be the nexus. Is the current diagnosis related to that incident service? So an example of a denial would be a veteran breaks his arm in active duty, they cast it, and it heals. And then 20 years later, he gets really bad arthritis in that arm. And he's thinking, it's got to be from that break. It never, it's got to be from that. So he's got the diagnosis, arthritis. He's got the incident service, the break.
Yeah.
But are the two related? So the VA will do a medical opinion. They'll do an exam and talk to the veteran. And for an example of a denial would be the arthritis is more likely than not, 50% or greater, caused by him being a bricklayer for the past 20 years. Okay?
Well.
Then that break, and the VA works with more likely than not 50% or greater. Okay? And that would be an example now. But if, doctor could say, oh yeah, that break, looking at the x-ray, oh, that never healed. Yeah, that's because of that break. That's where the arthritis came from. That would be an example of an approved.
Okay.
So you need those three different elements. And working with the VSO, we can, work, and especially with the denial, we can help with that too.
Okay.
With service connection disability, we briefly talked, each disability is rated in percentages, rating from 0 to 100. Some are capped at certain levels. So tinnitus, ringing of the ears, is capped at 10%. You can't get anything more than that. There's also, in addition to percentages, there's also special monthly compensation. So if someone loses an arm or a leg, it's outside the percentages. It's additional funds for that disability. If a veteran loses a leg, they can do adaptive. They can be eligible for adaptive housing, helping with adapting the house to overcome their disability, adapting their car, putting the gas and brake on the steering wheel. There's many different stuff out there in addition to just the percentages, the financial compensation. There's a lot more stuff. The VA's goal is that to help you overcome your disability with these benefits. Presumptive illnesses. The military is not a friendly environment, okay, by nature. So you have, probably the biggest one that people know is Agent Orange.
Agent Orange,
Okay.
Vietnam, yeah.
So exposure to Agent Orange, the VA concedes, if you had boots on the ground in Vietnam, they don't know where they sprayed it, who was exposed, who wasn't. So they made a blanket presumptive illness. You had boots on the ground between these dates. Okay, we're gonna concede that you were exposed to it.
Cover
Okay,
it.
so in service connection disability, that would be your incident in service. Okay, so there is a bunch of presumptive illnesses out there for Agent Orange. There's actually 14.
It's terrible, yeah.
There's 14 of them. There are presumptive illnesses for Gulf War. There's presumptive illnesses for ionizing radiation. There's presumptive illnesses even for any veteran. For example, remember the ice bucket challenge?
No,
People
I don't.
putting ice to make aware
Oh,
of ALS.
yes, I remember
A few years
that.
ago.
Yeah, I remember that.
So that's for ALS. Veterans
Really?
have a higher rate of contracting ALS than someone who never served.
Oh my goodness.
Any branch, any era, any generation.
I had no idea.
So if we get it, there is financial compensation. There is adaptive housing. There's a lot of benefits out there. And I bumped into a veteran not too long ago on accident whose best friend had ALS and she was in the Navy and didn't even know about this benefit.
Didn't even know.
And she's taken care of now, but had I not bumped into her friend, her family would have been paying a lot of stuff.
Oh, sure.
So if you have any questions on presumptive illnesses, contact my office, please, because there's a lot of, even your Camp Lejeune, between certain years, they had their water was contaminated.
Well, and Fort McCoy.
Yeah.
And the one in Alabama, they closed down that. The Army closed that down because they were doing the chemical, the division with the chemicals were there. Now my son was there We went to his graduation. He was military police.
Mhm.
But the other unit was the chemical, chemical unit. And I mean, some of those, bugs that were that were down there, I mean, were about as big as your fist. When,
Yep.
where either here in Chicago or in New York, you would say, "Wow, we saw a really big roach. This thing looked like it was a toy, a wind-up toy." And I said, my God, I said, look at they put a toy there. Then it started to walk. That was no toy. That's the real McCoy.
Yep.
So they closed that down. We read that in the newspaper that they closed down the entire fort down there, Fort McClellan. That was it, Fort McClellan
Yeah.
in Alabama.
Yeah.
And they don't know because there was a lot of reports of my son's buddies that were dying of cancer.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't know, and they closed down the fort because they tested the soil, and it was jam packed with carcinogenics.
Yep.
So we're all very scared.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because
Absolutely.
we don't know what. We have no idea what. So and that was for basic training before he went overseas. He's a combat veteran.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, so I just wanted to throw that in.
Oh yeah, some of the big ones with exposure to Agent Orange is diabetes, ischemic heart disease, which is a disease characterized by reduction of blood supply to the heart, Parkinson's disease, peripheral neuropathy, prostate cancer, but there's 14 of them. If a veteran passed away from that and the spouse is still alive, and the veteran passed away from ischemic heart disease or prostate cancer, that widow could get a pension. Okay, and I've bumped into a few widows
That they didn't even
at
know.
a senior fair in Libertyville.
Wow.
And she said, "Oh, my husband served. He was in Vietnam.
Oh, see.
Where is he? Oh, he passed away. Oh, what did he pass away from? Oh, he had prostate cancer." I'm like, "Okay, come here. We can talk." And
Okay.
she came to my office. We did a claim, and she got approved.
Wow.
But there's a whole bunch. But if you were in Vietnam, contact my office. You still should get a benefit checkup to see if you're getting all your benefits that you deserve anyways.
Okay.
Well, we can talk about that. Camp Lejeune had been there more than 30 days. The date was August 1st, 1953 to December 31st, 1987. There's 15 conditions. Some of them are bladder cancer, kidney cancer, renal toxicity.
These are bad dudes.
Gulf War,
Wow.
we got the burn pits, we got undiagnosed illnesses.
Yep.
There's a bunch. If a veteran has one of the misinformations out there is called aid and attendance. So people say you need to apply for aid and attendance. Aid and attendance is it's an add-on benefit to an existing core benefit. So if you were to buy a car, you go to a car dealership.
Okay.
But you're not going to go to a car dealership and walk in and say, "Hi, I want to buy heated car seats." Like, well, you have to buy a car first. It's an add-on.
Okay.
Okay. So they'll say, "Buy a car, and then we'll add the heated car seats." No, you can't just walk in and ask for heated car seats. So aid and attendance can be for the veteran. It could be for the spouse under different benefits. But the three core benefits are service connection disability, which aid and attendance can be added to the veteran,
Okay.
but it has to be for his service connection disability. His service connection disability has to be the one that causes problems with the ADLs, since the daily living activities. The spouse was never in the military, so as long as she needs aid and attendance or have problems with the daily living activities, and the veteran is collecting 30% or greater service connection disability, she can get it too. It's more money to help the veteran and the spouse. How do you do this? Go see VSO. We'll walk you through the process. If a veteran was denied previously because of a claim, come see VSO. Okay, we can help with appeals, reconsiderations, reopens, all those different government paperwork stuff that we do so well. DIC, which is if the veteran passes of a service-related injury or passed on active duty, it's a benefit paid to the widow, and then
The survivor, yeah.
dependents,
Yeah.
children, if they're underage or if they're disabled. It could be contributing to the death of the veteran too. So if, say, it's a Vietnam veteran and he had diabetes and he passed away from a liver condition, and they say the diabetes helped contribute to the cause
To
of the
the
liver
cause of
failure.
Failure, yeah.
He's service-connected for diabetes because that's under presumptive illnesses under Agent Orange. The liver has nothing to do with it, but the diabetes contributed to this cause of death, so the widow could get a pension. Okay, so if you're a widow and you have, and your spouse was a veteran and passed away, contact our office. Let's see if there's any benefits available to the family.
Benefits.
VA home loans, a lot of people know about that one. That's probably the benefit that a lot of veterans know about. How do you apply? You can apply on eBenefits. It's the federal website, or you can come into our state office or VSO office.
And how does that work? I mean, is that before you purchase a house, or
Before you purchase a house,
or is it assistance in helping with the house? If finances are low and you need some assistance, how does that work?
for lack of better words or a better example, it's if you're 18 years old and you want to buy a car, and you go to the car dealership and the car,
Okay.
You're 18.
Can't
you
buy-
can't buy a new car.
yeah.
Have your mom
Your
and your dad come in and co-sign.
for it, sure.
Basically, that's what the VA loan. The VA doesn't give out loans. You still have to go to the bank. You still have to qualify the loan.
Okay.
But you get a certificate. You bring that to your lender, and it's a surety that if you default on the loan, that the VA will pay.
Okay.
So it's basically Uncle Sam co-signing the loan,
Okay.
and it helps you out with points and mortgage insurance and stuff like that, and no down payment. So it's nice. It's a definitely huge benefit. Education and training post 9/11. That's probably everyone knows about that. They eliminated the 15-year expiration rule, effective for veterans who were entitled to the benefit, effective January 1st, 2013. There's also DEA, which is if a veteran is 100% permanent toll or has a permanent toll rating with IU, the dependents and spouse can get some extra money every month to go to school. It's about $1,200. But that's for severely disabled veterans. And that's a federal benefit. Vocational rehabilitation. So I actually used that program myself. When I was discharged, I had bad knees. I couldn't be a mechanic anymore.
Yeah.
So I went back to school, and I got a job where I could sit behind a desk.
Hey, that's okay.
And the VA paid for me to go back to
Your
college.
education, okay.
Absolutely, and a monthly stipend too while I was going back to college. The VA has homeless and low income assistance. Many programs, federal, state, county, CVSO. The VA offers a non-service connected pension to the veterans, a survivorship pension to the widows. Those are low income. They have to be in financial hardship to get that. It's not a pension that they've earned. So they have to be in financial hardship.
Hardship, yeah.
And going back to aid and attendance, that's the one we hear a lot, people calling up, I want to apply for aid and attendance. Well, it's not aid and attendance. You're applying for a low-income pension,
Yeah,
and it just so happens the veteran needs aid and attendance.
okay.
They may be depleted their finances because they're in a nursing home,
Okay.
and they need some extra money. But that's for wartime veterans, and there's a couple other stipulations too. But it can go to the veteran and the widow, and that's another benefit I could talk for a long time about. But if a veteran or widow is in financial hardship, have them contact my office. Because there's not only to this, there's other benefits to both state, federal, and county. Let's see. Federal VA's got insurance programs, dependent and survivorship benefits, burial benefits, the homeless program. There's a nice, very, very good homeless program at the Captain James A. Level Federal Healthcare Center.
Oh, okay.
And there's fantastic people that work there. I know them very well. State benefits. We'll get into that.
That's where you walk in the door.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff
Okay.
with the state going on. The state of Illinois, the organization I work for, our mission statement is for the mission of the Illinois Department of Veterans Affairs is to empower veterans and their families to thrive. We do this by assisting them in navigating the system of federal, state, and local resources and benefits, by providing long-term health care for eligible veterans in veterans' homes, and by partnering with other agencies and non-for-profits to help veterans address education, mental health, housing, employment, and other challenges. We have VSOs throughout the state that can assist our heroes. The IDVA team consists of more than 1,300 staff, many of them veterans themselves. After someone leaves the military, we can assist them for the rest of their lives, including long-term care in one of our veterans' homes.
Okay.
The assistance includes your spouse and family. We encourage you to go to our website to learn more about these services. Our state website is www.illinois.gov/veterans. IDV is on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. Let's see. IDV's priorities of the state: veterans homes, strategic community outreach, enterprise automation, and internal staff processes. A couple things going on right now with the state of Illinois. The lottery cards, the scratch-offs.
Yeah.
This year, the ones that go for veterans. So, veterans, it's the winter green, and it doesn't say anything about veteran.
Yeah.
Previously, it said they mentioned veteran, but
Really?
this year it's winter green, and they're being sold right now. They're $2. The Illinois Department of Veterans Affairs awards these funds in the form of vet cash grants on a quarterly basis. IDVA's Veterans Cash Grant Committee reviews the application and awards grants to groups that help veterans with PTSD, homelessness, health insurance costs, long-term care, disability benefits, employment. Since 2006, nearly 300 organizations have received over $13 million in funds.
Never even knew about that one either.
Yeah, so let's scratch it. But it's the winter green one. This year is called winter green.
Winter green.
And it's a
okay.
green lottery card. If you go to the state website that
Yeah.
I just mentioned, if you don't remember it, call my office. I'll give it to you again. It's a green card. It's a green scratch-off lottery card. 100% of the Veterans Cash Lottery proceeds go to support those veterans. And let's see. So right now we've got the 200 Illinois Veterans for Bicentennial Party. That's December 3rd at the United Center. There's more information on our website about that.
Okay.
The Veterans Home in Chicago, which we have veterans homes, 4 of them throughout the state.
Didn't even know that.
LaSalle, Manteno, Quincy, and Ann. Chicago has been started, and it's opening December of 2019, scheduled.
Next year.
And I'll talk a little bit about the veterans homes.
And how long? How many do they facilitate to or occupy?
Offhand, I don't remember the exact number of how many beds that they will serve.
I mean, it's not just like a little house or something. It's
No, it's a big facility.
It's a large.
Oh yeah, it's a big facility.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Quickly, I'll go through a bunch of state benefits.
Okay.
So, Illinois Warrior Assistance Program, it's that number I was talking about. If a veteran is in need, they're struggling with PTSD,
Yes.
traumatic brain injuries, anxiety, stress, and their families can also call too. It's not just for the veteran, but it's the families
Okay.
too. The number is 4927.
And that number is for those that are suffering with the PTSD,
PTSD, traumatic brain injuries,
Yeah, traumatic brain, yeah.
depression, daily
Yeah.
emotions problems.
Yeah, sure.
The federal crisis line is 1-800-273-8255, and then just hit option 1. State of Illinois, they've got veterans license. We got a bunch of veteran license plates. I'm sure you've seen them drive around, Army, Navy,
Yep.
everything.
We have one.
Oh, good.
We-
That's with the Secretary of State. You go online, go to the Secretary of State's website, and they'll walk you through the process. You can do it by mail
Okay.
now. If you've got any questions, just shoot me a call. We talk about having veterans put on your driver's license.
Yes.
Camping and hunting permits. So if you have a service connection disability of 10% or greater, come to my office. I can issue you a fishing permit. It's a 2-year fishing permit, which is great.
Sure.
If you're 100% permanently totally disabled, you can get a camping permit, and you can camp for free in the state of Illinois. There's war bonuses out there. So if you served in World War II, Korea, Vietnam, Gulf War, or the Global War on Terrorism, there's some different stipulations. Call me. But if you
Really?
Yep, if you were in one of those wars and you're an Illinois resident, give me a call. Okay? We'll see.
That's incredible.
Yeah. There's Illinois Military Relief Fund. There's burial benefits in addition to the federal ones, education grants and scholarships. So if you enlisted from Illinois and returned to Illinois with 6 months, but if your spouse was on active duty and delayed you took more than 6 months because your
time.
husband or wife was on order somewhere else, there's a stipulation for that. But enlist from Illinois, return to Illinois, you get 4 years education at any Illinois state school. So community colleges, it doesn't pay for private schools. And that benefit does not expire.
Now, this is only good for Illinois.
You have to be an Illinois veteran, enlist from Illinois and return to Illinois.
Okay. But what if you served, went overseas, combat veteran, Iraq or Afghanistan or whatever, and then you took a job position somewhere else?
Mm-hmm.
Is that considered for an education to be able to?
They might be eligible for a federal
Okay.
one, or if they were injured and didn't use the vocational rehabilitation, he or she can
Okay.
use that too.
But
The state.
that they don't still reside in Illinois, went to another.
So, if a veteran enlisted from Illinois and returned to Illinois in 6 months, and then a few years later
yeah.
they moved away,
Yeah,
they could still use that benefit in Illinois.
in Illinois.
They'd have to come back to school. They'd come
for
back
education in
'cause
Illinois.
it's only good at Illinois state schools.
Illinois State School.
Yep.
Okay.
There's the MIA POW grant, which is for the dependents and the children, and it's also open to it's MIA POW and it's also 100% permanent and totally disabled veterans.
Okay.
There's education childhood opportunities if you're 100% permanent total and you have kids between 10 and 18. The state can there's some money there from the state. There's Illinois National Guard grant. Probably one of the most popular ones out there right now that everyone's talking about is the veterans, the tax exemption for disabled veterans. In the state of Illinois, if you are 70% or greater service-connected disability, your property tax on your house, you don't have to pay taxes. Now, there's assessed value cap. But if you're 50% service-connected disability, they'll take $5,000 off the assessed value, not $5,000 off your taxes. 30%, they'll take $2,500 off your assessed value of your home. So there's benefits out there, as I mentioned earlier, in addition to just the percentages out there, both federal and state. So 70% or greater, come talk to a VSO immediately if you're not taking the property tax exemption.
That's interesting. Could you go over that one more time? And do you have to be 70% disabled? Is that what you're
Yes.
talking about? Okay.
Military, not just
Military, okay.
due to military service. Yes.
Okay,
Yep.
I got that now.
Yep.
All right, good.
Special adaptive housing. So if you exhaust, we mentioned that if you needed the house adapted,
Yeah,
if you exhaust all those federal funds and your house still needs more work,
Yeah.
the state will kick in. The state of Illinois will kick in and give you more money to help finish your house.
to finish it, okay.
Not that they will finish it, but they'll kick in money,
Okay.
depending on what needs to be done. Mentioned the Veterans Homes, Quincy and LaSalle, Manteno, and then Chicago, scheduled in 2019. That benefit is not based on income net worth limitations. So right now it's $1,429 a month, which is insanely cheap compared to what it costs out here in a week.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not even what a week costs a week out here in a long-term care facility. But it's for veterans, and spouses can go to, I believe, the Quincy home. But if there's a spouse of a veteran or a veteran that is in a long-term care situation that needs help, contact a VSO. Okay, because there's something, the Veterans Homes is a resource that they have. The Manteno one actually handles a homeless program too, for veterans.
But you got to get them in there.
Well, it comes to a VSO. We'll work.
See,
We'll help you
okay,
with.
okay. That's problematic, and it's winter time. I hate to see these guys under bridges or whatever.
We got the program at Captain Level, James A.
Oh,
Level,
really
Federal Health
bad,
Cancer right now.
heartbreaking. They're terrible.
Yeah, if you talk to, if you see a veteran that's
Yeah.
homeless, you can call the police and say, hey, I found there's a
Veteran.
veteran that's homeless.
I can't believe this one. We have to do a part 2 on this, Patrick. This is it. This is how fast this.
Yeah.
Mark your little book.
I
there.
will.
Well, we want to thank you for allowing us in your home, your place of business. I hope you learned something from this evening's program. And please let us know if you are in need of any of these services. And please do contact Patrick Cornett, and he will help you establish whatever you need if you are a veteran. And all I can say is God bless you all. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving, and hope to see you again next week on North Shore Live, Cooper's Corner. Have a wonderful evening and a very safe week. Good evening.